Ethan Cole was the kind of man people read about in magazines: sharp suits, polished shoes, a penthouse apartment overlooking the city, and a global tech company that had made him one of the youngest self-made millionaires in the country. But despite all the success, there was a growing emptiness in his life. His last few relationships had all ended the same way. Women who seemed perfect at first would reveal that what they truly loved wasn't him, but his bank account. The betrayal left scars deeper than he cared to admit, and over time, he had built a quiet wall between himself and the idea of finding someone real. On a quiet Thursday evening, his best friend, Marcus, leaned over during a late dinner and said, "You've got to try this blind date thing, man. No apps, no fake profiles, just a friend of a friend setup. She's nothing like the women you've dated before." Ethan almost laughed, but something in Marcus's tone made him pause. Still, he couldn't shake the paranoia. What if this woman was just like the others? That night, staring at the ceiling in the dim light of his bedroom, Ethan came up with a plan. If she was genuine, she wouldn't care about his wealth. So he decided to hide it. No designer clothes, no luxury car, no flashy watch. And, to make things more interesting, and maybe to test her patience, he would bring his 2 7-year-old twins, Lily and Liam, along. The next day, he pulled out a pair of worn jeans he hadn't touched in years, a plain gray t-shirt, and sneakers with scuffed edges. He left his sports car in the garage, took the subway, and even carried an old backpack instead of his sleek leather briefcase. The twins were already excited. "You're really bringing us on your date?" Liam asked, his cap slightly tilted over his messy hair. "Yup," Ethan replied with a smirk. "Think of it as helping me figure out if she's the real deal." "And if she's mean?" Lily asked, holding onto her dad's arm as they walked. "Then we're leaving." "Simple as that," Ethan said, ruffling her hair. The cafe was small and cozy, a place Ethan had chosen specifically because it had no trace of luxury, just the smell of fresh bread, the hum of soft jazz, and people chatting over warm mugs. The woman was already there when they arrived. Her name was Emma, and the first thing Ethan noticed was how different she looked from anyone he had dated before. No heavy jewelry, no designer labels, just a soft sweater, jeans, and a faint paint stain on her sleeve, probably from some art project. Her hazel eyes lit up when she saw them, though there was a brief flicker of surprise at the sight of the children. "You must be Ethan," she said warmly. "And your adorable entourage." Ethan chuckled awkwardly. "Yeah, long story. These two are my shadow." Instead of being annoyed or confused, Emma crouched down to greet Lily and Liam first. "Hi, I'm Emma. I love your hats. Do you like hot chocolate?" The twins glanced at each other, then nodded eagerly. Within minutes, they were talking about school, superheroes, and their favorite ice cream flavors. Emma didn't just listen. She asked questions, laughed with them, and even drew little doodles on napkins to make them laugh harder. Ethan sat back, watching. There was something disarming about her. She wasn't trying to impress him, she was connecting with them. And he couldn't remember the last time someone had looked at his kids with such genuine warmth. Halfway through their drinks, the cafe owner came out looking frazzled. "Sorry, folks, we're short-staffed today. If anyone wants to help clear some tables, we can give you a discount." It wasn't aimed at them specifically, but Ethan's curiosity sparked. He wanted to see how Emma would react. Without hesitation, Emma smiled and stood up. "Kids, want to help me?" Liam's eyes widened. "We can help in a cafe." "Sure," she grinned. "It's like a real-life game. We pick up the cups, bring them to the counter, and maybe we'll get a cookie out of it." The three of them worked together for the next 15 minutes, carrying napkins, stacking plates, and chatting with customers. Ethan offered to help, but Emma waved him off playfully. "You're on kid duty, Mr. Shadow. We've got this covered." The other customers watched with smiles, and Ethan couldn't help but feel something shift inside him. He'd been on dates where the slightest inconvenience caused drama, but here was this woman, sleeves rolled up, laughing as she wiped a table with his daughter's help. She was different, he could feel it. When the work was done, the cafe owner gave the twins cookies as thanks, and they sat back down. Emma didn't seem rushed to leave. They talked about her job as a teacher, her love for painting, and the fact that she volunteered at an animal shelter every other weekend. She never once asked Ethan what he did for a living, and it was both refreshing and unsettling. By the time they stepped outside, the evening sky had deepened into shades of gold and purple. The twins walked ahead, chasing each other along the sidewalk, and Ethan knew he couldn't keep the truth hidden any longer. "There's something I should tell you," he began, and Emma stopped walking to face him. "I wasn't entirely honest about, well, about who I am. The way I dressed, the way I came here, it's not my real life. I'm the CEO of a tech company. I'm a millionaire. But I didn't want you to know that, at least not at first." Emma raised her eyebrows but didn't look shocked. "You thought I'd treat you differently if I knew." "Pretty much," he admitted. "It's happened before." She smiled faintly, shaking her head. "Ethan, I don't care about your bank account. I like the guy who took his kids on a date and let them spill cocoa without flinching. I like the dad who watched his kids laugh like they were the most important thing in the world." The twins ran back, breathless, and tugged at Emma's hands. "Can we see you again?" Lily asked hopefully. Emma glanced at Ethan, then smiled at them. "I'd like that." As they walked away, Ethan felt something he hadn't felt in years, a lightness in his chest, a sense that maybe, just maybe, this could be something real. Money had built his empire, but this felt like the start of something money could never buy. That night, after tucking Lily and Liam into bed, Ethan sat by the window and thought about the day. He realized that the test he thought he was giving Emma had ended up being a test for himself. And she had passed, just not in the way he expected. From that day forward, the story of how the millionaire CEO took his twins on a blind date while pretending to be broke became their favorite memory. And years later, when they told it at their wedding, the room filled with laughter and a few tears, because everyone knew that in that little cafe, between cocoa spills and cookie crumbs, everything had changed.